What's going on, everybody? It's Noah, and in today's episode of the Rise Method, I want to discuss a little bit about this shift that we're experiencing as a collective. Now, this has been given many different names by many different authors. Eckhart Tolle is famous with coining, the term of the New Earth. We have books like The Fourth Turning. There's always this understanding, right, of this cyclical nature, or rather of this shifting that we go through. It's a natural evolutionary process as a collective, as individuals as well as a collective. However, if you've been paying attention to the world in the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you've noticed with the advent of technology and this ability to connect with one another at a global scale and disseminate all this information, there is a lot of confusion, yes, a lot of pain, a lot of sadness, yes. However, whenever there is this polarity of negativity, of separation, of division, there is an equally matched opportunity for the connection and the harmony and the love and the healing that we truly desire. And for myself, and based on my own observations and my own research over the past few years, what I've come to understand, and I like to use the frame of what Carl Jung framed in his book Aion. Now, if you haven't read the book Aion, I would highly suggest, just to get a better understanding and to go further in detail, because it's incredibly nuanced and because it addresses astrology, which, at first glance, a lot of intellectual high achieving types can take to be, they can be dismissive of that. However, I would suggest reading that if you want a further, more in-depth understanding and the profundity that Carl Jung brings to the realm of astrology, and what astrology and alchemy, for that matter too, what they were actually addressing at an esoteric level, and how these projections that we've made over thousands of years onto the planets or into matter, when it was with alchemy, right? That there is legitimate psychological truth to this, and also, not to mention that there is this certain hubris that we as modern people can have to dismiss the wisdom of these ancient teachers. We ascribe, right, a lot of we're so inspired by all of these ancient Greek philosophers, dismissing typically, like, for the fact that they abided by astrology, right? So there is immense wisdom in that when you take the time to fully understand it and to delve deeper into the relationship between the soul, the psyche, and how we are related to matter, to these projections that we've placed onto space, into the constellation. So check that out. I'll link it to a video description here that is presented by the channel Uberboyo. Stefan and James go into immense depth on that. And yeah, they're super thorough in their research on that. But what Carl Jung goes into about this, what he's talking about, is there is this turning, okay, at around 2000 AD, because we experience new cycles every 2,000 years, different ions. So we just came out of the Piscean ion, and the Piscean ion is the symbol of two fish, which Carl Jung attributed to the figures of Christ and Lucifer, which you can roughly equate as spirit and matter, where there in the first 1,000 years there was this yearning and desiring to transcend the body, right, to solely focus on spiritual ascension. And then in the latter 1,000 years, you saw this returning to matter. In the pinnacle of that was in the Renaissance and the scientific revolution, where we became so enamored and focused with matter, and that's kind of the paradigm we've inhabited at this point. But now we've transitioned, okay, into this Aion of Aquarius, and Aquarius is the symbol of the water bearer, the one who bears water. And symbolically, what that comes to mean is the one who bears the unconscious. The water is the symbol of the unconscious. So in this time, right, in what we're experiencing energetically as a collective, is this opportunity for us to integrate, to bear the water, to take these projections, to take all of this shadow material, these traumas, these fears, and to understand that just as we do this at an individual level as conscious creators, whether or not we're aware of it, right, where our internal world is shaping the external world and the external is mirroring back to us what we're believing to be true, professing to be true, and feeling to be true, so too does this happen at a collective level. And so as a collective, okay, we have this opportunity to notice that. And as individuals, when we can heal ourselves, we can heal ourselves as a collective, right? We can become the water bearers. Because as much, again, as there is opportunity for demise and destruction and separation and more hostility, there is equally matched an opportunity for love, for light, for expansion, for healing, for growth. Now, that doesn't come easily necessarily. That comes at a price, and that price is doing our own internal work as individuals, right? Before the Hebrew people reached the promised land, they had to wander through the desert. There's always typically this, the night is darkest just before the dawn, right? So being able to experience that and to go through that internally at an individual scale, that provides us then the opportunity at a collective scale to bear that water and to share the benevolence of things like technology and to disseminate how we structure our economic system to bring more healing and to bring more abundance and prosperity for the world, and to empower us, each and every one of us as individuals, as conscious creators, to realize that where our focus goes, our energy flows. So when we're continuing to focus on all of the negativity, all the strife, all the struggle that we see in the world, well, collectively, we're just going to feed more of that to ourselves. We're just going to perpetuate that. We're creating that momentum more and more. So we have to break that cycle and realize that. We have to step out of the primal programming that we've been so adept to for so long, where from an evolutionary standpoint, right, we're focused on negative. We have a negativity bias. We're focused on the fearful thing, on the thing that can cause us harm because we want to survive. So that self-preservation is placed above all else. So we have that negativity bias, and that's when you get things like doom scrolling. That's why we're addicted to negativity. We have this doom porn where all the time we are just wanting to see how things are going wrong. We want to keep up to date about all of the fear that's happening in the world, all the dis-ease, all of the disconnection that we're experiencing. When in reality, all of that is an opportunity for us to come back into ourselves and to see what parts of ourselves need to be healed. In about 4 years ago, when the whole world shut down, that was a peak moment of that, an opportunity to reflect on how we want to move forward. And coincidentally, that is right around the turning into this Aquarian Aion, right? Where we're stepping into this age of becoming the water bearers, the bearers of the unconscious. And we are able to integrate our own pains and traumas and bring those parts of ourselves back home in our family and in our society, because when we do that at a communal level, that's what's going to create the collective shift. There's a quote from Ram Dass that I love, and it's so pertinent to this discussion, and it's, "I can do nothing for you but heal myself, and you can do nothing for me but heal yourself." So that's the perspective, the paradigm we have to take right now, that we have this immense opportunity with all of this connection, all this technology like YouTube. We have all of this information available to us. More and more people becoming more awake and aware of their spiritual power and becoming aware that there is something greater than themselves, that there is a force underlying all of this, and that force is love, and it's working for our greatest good. And we need only surrender to that power to allow it to work through us, to express that, right? All of that information is being made available. So we have this opportunity, as much as there is for, again, the negativity, there's an equally matched opportunity for the positive, for the light, okay? Now, that doesn't come without first acknowledging this, okay? First coming to terms with that in ourselves. A tree whose branches reach into heaven has roots reaching down into hell. So we have to do the shadow work, okay? We have to look at those parts of ourselves we've been hiding from so long, and that also entails actually opening up to what it is we truly want in life and not living on autopilot anymore and just living by what's comfortable, where we've numbed ourselves to who we are authentically and what we want to express and share in the world, what gifts we have to bring to life. We have to thaw our hearts and to tap back in to our heart space, right? So that way we can be more, we can heal our trauma and we can feel our bodies, because you've heard me say this before, the body is the repository of the subconscious mind. So when we tap into the body and start feeling the body more, we're in essence doing the work to heal our subconscious patterns because we get disconnected because we want to shut off those emotions, right, from consciousness. We don't want to think about them, and so we just numb ourselves to those feelings while we focus or we go into our work or develop an addiction, which could be to work or to alcohol or to drugs or to sex or to food or to fear-based living, right? Looking at news feeds that are feeding that negativity bias. So we have to tap back into our feeling. We have to open ourselves up to our heart and what it is we truly desire, who it is we truly are, and what we're here to bring, how we're here to serve. That is the means by which we're going to bear this water and to step into this immense opportunity that we have right now. Okay, for each and every one of us to use our unique voice, to share our unique gifts, our messages, to bring that light and that love to the world. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave any comments and questions below about what you're experiencing in your life and how you perceive this collective shift, what you see to be happening, and the opportunities that are present before us. And yeah, just your thoughts and perspectives on that. I'd love to get back to you on that. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful that you're here. I love you so much. And until next time, let's rise.